Guess who is going shopping with you this holiday season? Scam artists and identity
The experts
thieves.
say there's a 1 in 10 chance someone in your family will become the victim of identity
will take
theft.
18 months and could cost as much as $9,000.
You see, 18 months earlier, the police had showed up at my door and told me that I was being investigated for $300,000 worth of theft.
In the past 5 years, more than 25 million people have become a victim of identity theft.
$300,000. Not something I had done, something my business partner had done, using my identity. So his trips to Hawaii, his adult entertainment expenses, looked like they were mine, like they were John Cilio's. The paper trail led back to me.
It's not that businesses will spend $56 billion recovering in this year alone from this crime. A lion's share going to businesses, institutions like yours. It's not that identity theft can be as emotionally violating as assault. It's not even the ironic fact that our identities are worth far more than the homes that we spend so much to guard so closely. Insurance, locks, alarm systems, dogs, gates, fences. The scariest part is that we can know all of this and even have a manual or a method for preventing it and still fail to seize the wall.
I want everybody to take your wallets out of your pockets or your purse or wherever you have it, and I want you to hold them above your head. Holy cow. How many identities do you have? Let me see that thing. Wow! Look at this one. Anybody got one bigger?
John Cilio is a business owner, award-winning author, and information security expert. Organizations hire John Cilio to put a human face on America's fastest-growing crime, identity theft.
My business partner went to jail, and 18 days later, he walked out. Because identity theft was not a crime in the state of Colorado in 2005. You can imagine my rage, having lost a business, 2 years of my life, just about a relationship with my wife, fathering time, betrayal by a very good friend, and I hope you can understand my desire to seek some sort of balance, some sort of revenge. So I had him killed. No. The solution is to make privacy a reflex. Make privacy a reflex. And we do that by catching our edges here in a safe environment. I see 4 enemies of data privacy. Now we're talking about customer records, employee records, that type of information. 4 enemies of client privacy, and you're going to have to hang with me. I want you guys to start thinking immediately in terms of the data that you protect for your clients. We're going to move out of the personal realm. If we don't talk about the personal realm first, nobody cares about the client realm because we have to feel it first in order to believe it. We have to feel it personally. Now we're shifting quickly into the client realm.
Money Matters Today starts right now.
John is the author of Stolen Lives, Identity Theft Made Simple. John joins us from Denver. Welcome, John.
Thank you for having me. The tools that I developed and then evolved into the book, into Stolen Lives, allowed us to capture, convict, and put my imposter in jail.
As John educates your audience on how to protect themselves personally, he inspires them professionally to defend the private company data they handle every day.
These are the 5 things that I just want you to do right away to start changing the way you think about it. And these incorporate all 4 of the jiu-jitsu moves, stop, chop, lock, and block, in combination. So now we're getting more sophisticated about how we apply it. These are all written in the corner on your handout under Revolutionize Your Privacy, and I may go through them in order or I may not. The first is to stop the flow of information, one you've already heard, but that's how important it is to stop the flow. Let me give a couple more examples. A couple years ago, my daughters joined Girl Scouts. They asked for all kinds of information, including social security numbers. My wife, because we had just been through this, thought, hang on, I'm not going to put down all this information. And Friday, before I left for Lake of the Ozarks to give a speech and then came here, we got a letter from Girl Scouts saying that a tape backup had been stolen and all of our kids' information on every Girl Scout and every volunteer in the organization had been stolen. Now, it gives me shivers to say that because now it's about my kids. It's beyond just my data. And the same thing can happen to customer data. So you need to evaluate those situations in a couple of ways. Number one, who's in control of the information? Well, when you give it to them, you're giving them control of information. What do they have access to? The second step. Access to my child's social security number. That's a huge red flag, as is your social security number. So the first step is who's in control. The second step is what am I giving them access to and who has the access. And the third is necessity. So it spells can, C-A-N. Necessity is, do I have to give it? Well, to Girl Scouts, you don't. And to 80% of people, you don't have to give the information they ask for. Now, it was my 5-year-old daughter, Sophia, who took me and woke me up and challenged me in her own little way to make something out of all of this pain that my family and my business had been through. It was just before bedtime, and she came into my home office. I was, of course, working on the criminal case, which is what I did every night for 2 years when I got home from work. She was carrying a book, and the book was called Daddies Are for Catching Fireflies. And it's full of all of the things you're supposed to be doing with your kids once you're done with work. She kept bugging me to read it. I don't know if you've ever gone that way where you're so wrapped up in your own troubles that you almost don't even acknowledge that somebody's there. She kept pestering me, and finally I snapped, Sophia, this is important. And my little 5-year-old looked up at me and she said, Daddy, when you're done, can I be important? A 5-year-old showing me that identity theft is not just about finances. It takes from you whatever's most important. In my case, it was time with my kids and my family at a really impressionable age. It could take time away from a charity or a business or whatever's most important to you. When I dig down really deep to find out why did this happen to me, why did this happen and put my wife through that amount of stress and to my business, what I see there is ignorance. Not stupidity, just a lack of knowledge. It's everything I didn't know about identity theft that hurt me.
Industries that benefit from this engaging, timely, and content-rich presentation include financial services, small business, healthcare, high-tech, travel, retail, and many others. Whether it's a client's credit card number, a patient's medical file, an employee's social security number, or sensitive intellectual capital, John Cilio's energetic and informative program will help your audience recognize that safe data is profitable data.
Here's my point. Sometimes fear and uncertainty and discomfort are just red flags for where we need to make a change in our lives. Identity theft is fearful. It is a fearful topic. I know I've been there twice. But you guys don't have to buy in to that fear if you're willing to control it and to use it. To let my experiences be your red flag. To let my experiences be the edges that you don't have to catch.
John Cilio has worked with hundreds of corporations and associations around the world that have chosen to proactively protect their privacy.
There we go. It was delayed, but I got it.